Hi, I'm Geoff, co-founder of Morgan's Wings, and I'm here to talk to you briefly today about resilience. Okay, first a bit about myself. I co-founded Morgan's Wings with my wife Jude after we suffered a miscarriage in December 2019. We named our baby Morgan, and we named our not-for-profit organisation Morgan's Wings to provide support and information for parents who have been through or are going through a miscarriage. If you want to find out more about Morgan's Wings, then in the link in the description below the video, then I'll put the website link in there so you can go on there and have a look at how you can get involved, how you can help us raise funds, and how you can help us provide support to other parents. I'm going to talk to you today about resilience and give you a little bit of information about resilience when it comes to dealing with traumatic events such as a miscarriage. But before I continue, I want to sort of address the elephant in the room, that I clearly am a man, and I don't want this to come across as a man telling women how to man up after a miscarriage and just get on with it and carry on, because that's absolutely not the case. We're aware how not normal it is to have a man talking about these kind of videos. I'm not a woman, I couldn't possibly know what it's like to have a miscarriage. Obviously, as a dad, I've lived through the experience of a miscarriage. I've also lost two babies of my own previously as well, so I know a lot about trauma and I know a lot about dealing with resilience. But I just wanted to address that we know it's a little bit uncommon to have a man talking about these things, but that's something we want to address in Morgan's Wings, and we want to kind of make it a bit more acceptable for men to get involved in these conversations as well. So hopefully you'll give me the benefit of the doubt and maybe what I've got to say will be useful. So what I want to introduce you today is something that's helped me deal with bad situations in the past, as well as the recent miscarriage that we suffered. And it's something that's referred to in Buddhist teachings as the parable of the second arrow. So basically it said that the Buddha once asked a student, if a person is struck by an arrow, is it painful? And the student said yes. And then the Buddha said, if a person is struck by a second arrow, is that even more painful? And the student said yes. And then the Buddha went on to say, in life we can't always control the first arrow. However, the second arrow is our response to the first. And with this second arrow comes the possibility of choice. I have heard this interpreted as pain is inevitable and suffering is optional. Now, I don't necessarily think that's true. I think my interpretation of it is more about making a choice. And I think with lots of self-care, with lots of self-awareness, it is possible to make a choice how you respond to something in the long term. Life happens and it will strike you out of nowhere when you're least expecting it, and it really, really hurts. Sometimes a lot. That's the first arrow. That's the thing that you weren't expecting, that comes out of nowhere, takes you by surprise, and there's not a lot you can do about that. But what you can do is, if you know, and if when that first arrow strikes, if you remember that, hang on, there's a second one on the way, that's my response to this situation. And if you're able to remember that and keep that in mind, then you might be able to prepare for that second arrow if you can't avoid it altogether. How you do this will vary, but in most cases it involves, as I say, making a choice. Are you going to get up and carry on, or are you going to let the pain control the rest of your life? It's important to say that by getting up and carrying on, you're not saying that the person that you lost or the baby or the miscarriage is any less painful, any less important, or any less hurtful. All you're doing is accepting that that is a thing that's happened, and that you're able to continue on with life and continue enjoying life. But it's important that you make that choice, I think, at some point. Think about if a friend or a loved one was going through the same thing. If they were telling themselves the same things that you tell yourself in your head, what would you say to them? Would you agree with the voices in their head, or would you say, no, it's not your fault? These things happen. There's no way for you to be at blame at all. Let me try and help you move on. What can I do to help you move on? Those are the kind of things that you would say to a friend or a loved one if they were feeling as you're feeling. And that's that conversation that you need to have with yourself sometimes. It can be very, very difficult to have that conversation with yourself, but it's important to do that. And that can help prepare you for the second arrow. making that choice is really important, and making that choice to continue and have a good life and live and enjoy life despite what's happened to you in the past can be really, really powerful. Hopefully that's useful to you. If you want to find out more and research more about the parable of the second arrow or any of the stuff I've talked about today, then I'll put some links in the description for some articles and some information that are useful. As I say, I hope you found this informative, and should you want to know any more about Morgan's Wings, then the link to the website is in the description. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We try to upload videos every month. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. All the links to those things are in the description below and on our website as well. If you want to support us, then have a look at our website on how you can do that. Thank you very much. Best of luck for the future, and thanks for watching. Bye.